Hi, this is Sue Jackson of the Book by Book blog, and I'm here with a Friday Reads. A quick Friday Reads today because I've got a very busy day planned. First, the big news. I finished my biggest book of Big Book Summer. This is book 3 in the Outlander series, Voyager by Diana Gabaldon. It's about 850 pages. Took me almost a month to read it, and I loved every minute of it. This book, I didn't want it to end. I finished it last night. You would think, typically with a longer book, toward the end you start feeling like, even if you're enjoying it, I'm ready for something different. I wasn't. I am going to miss the characters. This was just a fabulous book. I think it might be my favorite of the first 3 books. As the name indicates, Claire and Jamie are voyaging or traveling in this one, crossing the Atlantic to the Caribbean. This book was just a wall-to-wall action and adventure. Just so suspenseful throughout the whole thing. A lot happens here. In fact, I was enjoying it so much that when I finally finished those 870 pages, I immediately turned the page and began reading the preview of the next book that's included in the bag. I am definitely going to keep reading this series. I think Drums of Autumn is on the stack for next Big Book Summer, and highly recommend the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon, and especially Book 3, Voyager. I keep mentioning Big Book Summer. This is my the challenge that I host myself every year. It's in its 11th year. It's a whole lot of fun and completely flexible. It's a you do you kind of challenge. The whole idea is simply to read bigger books during the summer, or at least one bigger book. It's not that much of a commitment, really. A big book for the challenge is anything with 400 or more pages, any format, any genre, and you set your own goals, whether that's to read one big book between now and early September, or 2, or like I like to do, a whole stack. So I hope you'll join the fun. All the details are below. So this morning I was looking at my stack of big books and I'm trying to pick one out, and I wanted something different. And I've got a Steinbeck that I really want to read, but that's going to be historical fiction again, and which I just read 870 pages of. And I really want to read Cloud Cuckoo Land, but that's too similar to the audiobook I just started. So what I went with was something entirely different, Scythe by Neal Shusterman. This is a book I've been meaning to read for years, ever since its release. I love Neal Shusterman. My whole family does. He is an amazing author. He mostly writes middle grade and young adult books. This is young adult. But, when my son was younger and he'd start reading a Neal Shusterman, my husband and I would read it when he was finished with it. He's just an amazing author. I highly recommend his Unwind series, one of the best series any of us has ever read in this house. So I've been hearing great things about Scythe for years. I can't wait to dive into it later today. And finally, I have just started a new big book on audio as well, and that's called Everything the Light Touches, and it's by Janice Perriott. This is a novel. The reviews that I read compared it to Cloud Atlas, which I loved, and Cloud Cuckoo Land, which I'm going to read later this summer. That's why I didn't choose that for now. It's like those books. It's different stories. These are different stories in different timelines that somehow touch or weave together. I've only just started it. So the first story is set in the modern day. It features a young Indian woman named Shy. Shy is kind of at loose ends. She's recently lost her job. She goes back home to visit her parents as long as she's not working. She's kind of, she reunites with some old friends, but she doesn't know what she's going to do with the next stage of her life. In talking to her mom, she finds out that her old nanny who took care of her as a child is unwell for some reason. And certainly she's gotten a lot older. So Shy decides on the spur of the moment to go visit her. And neither of her parents can accompany her. So she goes on her own. And it is quite a journey, almost like a journey back in time. Because her old nanny lives high up in the mountains in northeastern India, where there are literally no roads to get up to the village she lives in. Not really even any path. When Shy gets off the bus, there's just like a forest ahead of her and a mountain, and someone offers to lead her and show her the way. So Shy reunites with this nanny who brought her up, who was probably closer to her than her mother, and living in this place and being with her, I think is going to be life-changing for her. That's all I know so far. I think there are 4 stories total here. Some go way back in time, so I'm really looking forward to see where this goes. That novel again is Everything the Light Touches by Janice Perriott. So that's what I'm reading this weekend, jumping into 2 new books. I can't wait to hear what you're reading. Please let me know in the comments down below.